Hello all, welcome back. So in today's lecture also, we will be discussing a problem on moment of inertia itself. So in today's section, we are actually going to work out on the second type of problems from moment of inertia, where we will be supposed to calculate the moment of inertia about the centroidal axis of the given figure. So let us see the question. Calculate the moment of inertia of the shaded area with respect to the centroidal axis. So the question will be somewhat like this. And if you see, you can see we have a triangle here and we have a hollow section which is actually cut out from this triangle. Okay. And after cutting out this hollow section, we will be getting a shaded area like this. And we are supposed to find out the moment of inertia of this shaded area about its centroidal x-axis and centroidal y-axis. So in this type of problem, there are two things that you have to take care. First one is you have to calculate the centroidal axis. That is, you have to find out the value of x bar as well as y bar. Locate the point, mark two axes, one in the x direction and another one in the y direction. Second one is like here, if you take, we have two shapes. One is a triangle, another one is a hollow section. Normally what we will do, we will individually calculate the moment of inertia of the shapes about its own centroidal axis. Then we will transfer that to the required axis. So when you transfer that, the moment of inertia or the contribution of moment of inertia from hollow section should be considered as negative. So these two things should be taken care. So let us try to work it out. So as a first step, we are marking numbers for the figures. So I am putting I am taking first figure as my triangle and second figure as my circle. Okay. So now let us try to first of all work out the area x-axis as well as y-axis. So I have taken my reference axis, x-axis at the bottom and y-axis to the left side. So what will be the area of my first figure? First figure is a triangle, so the area will be half into base into height. And the base was 60 and the height was 80. So please do remember the dimensions. So if you see the figure, the diameter of this circle is 15 centimeter. And this side, the center of the circle is actually provided at a height of 50 centimeters. And from this right angle corner at a distance of 30 centimeters. And remaining distance is also 30. This figure is not drawn to scale. And here also from the right angle triangle, actually 30 centimeters is the vertical distance to the center of the circle. So please do remember these dimensions. Now going back, we have A1 and A2. A1 is the area of the triangle, which is half into total length of the base into total length of the height, that is 60 into 80. A2 is area of this circle, which is pi r square. So when you substitute the values, you will get it as 2476.715 centimeter square. Now what I am calculating is xi, x1 and x2. What are x1 and x2? x1 is the horizontal distance from my reference y-axis to the centroid of my individual figure, first figure. If it is x1, it will be to the first figure. In this case, the horizontal distance from this y-axis to point G1. And what I know is, if I am considering this triangle, the remaining distance, that is this distance from the left side, we have this edge to point G1. This distance will be 1 by 3 times the total base. But here what I need is x1, which will be the horizontal distance from my reference y-axis to this point. That means the remaining distance. So how can I calculate that? If this much is 1 by 3 times base, what will be the remaining value? It will be 2 by 3 times the base. So that is how we are calculating here, 2 by 3 times the base, that is 60 units. So that will come around 40 centimeter. And what about x2? x2 is directly given in the question, and we have seen the distance from this edge as well as this edge to the center of this circle was 30 units or 30 centimeters. So x2 in this case will be the distance from this y-axis to the center point, which was directly given in the question as 30 centimeter itself. Now what we need is y1 and y2. So what all will be y1? Y1 will be the vertical distance from my reference x-axis to point G1. So that is the vertical distance from my reference x-axis, the axis provided at the bottom, to point G1. And how much it will be? The remaining distance. On top we have 1 by 3 times the height. Total height was 80. So 1 by 3 times height means height is the this distance, but what we need is the remaining value, which will be equal to how much? 2 by 3 times the height. So substituting 2 by 3 into height, which is 80, we will get 53.333 centimeters. And what about y2? And we have already seen the distance from this bottom point to an axis or to the center point of the circle was 50 units. So y2 will be obviously the directly given unit, which is 50 centimeter itself. Now we need all the required values. So let us try to proceed. So now we have to calculate the moment of inertia about centroidal axis and transfer that to the required axis. And before that, we haven't defined the required axis, that is the centroidal axis should be located, right? So let us calculate the value of x bar and y bar first. And we know the equation for x bar in this case will be x1 a1 minus x2 a2 divided by a1 minus a2. Why I have put a negative sign here, and you already know that circle in this case is a hollow area, so I have to add a negative sign. Now let us substitute the values, and you can see x bar is coming as 40.795 centimeters. So this is the x bar for the shaded region. Similarly, we can also calculate y bar, and in this case when you substitute the values, you can see y bar is coming as 53.598, and there is a slight problem with the marking here. So if you see, the x bar was 40.795. So this actually they have marked x bar like this, but if you see what was the value of x1, x1 was the distance from y-axis to point G1. x1 was 40, but when they marked x bar, they have actually put an axis like this, but this axis should actually come after G1. Why? Because the value is 40.795, which is larger than 40. The distance from y bar to G1 itself was 40. So we need a larger distance for representing 40.795. So this y axis will actually come somewhere here after point G1. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Similarly for the other axis also. Y bar is obtained. Y bar means the distance of the centroid of the shaded region from my reference x-axis. So this is the y bar distance, and if you see, y bar is coming as 53.598, and if you see the value of y1 means the vertical distance from my x-axis to point G1. This total distance is actually calculated as 53.33, but y bar is larger than that, that is 53.598. So that y bar should actually come above the point G1. So the axis should be somewhat like the x-axis, centroidal x-axis will be here, and centroidal y-axis will be somewhere here. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Now what we have to do? Now it is very simple. You take each individual shape. So for example, I will first of all take this triangle. I can draw a centroidal x-axis passing through G1, and I can calculate the value of moment of inertia of this triangle about that axis. Once I get that, I can transfer that to the parallel x-axis, x-axis how? Using parallel axis theorem like Ig1 xx plus a1 into h1 square, where Ig1 xx is the moment of inertia of my triangle about its own centroidal x-axis, a1 is the area of the triangle, and h1 square is the distance between the centroidal axis of my triangle and the centroidal axis of the shaded region, which we have located now. Similarly, after this, that completes the contribution from the triangle. Then we have some contribution from the circular section. But in this case, you can see the circular section is a hollow part. So instead of adding that, I am just subtracting that. Okay, so minus Ig2 xx plus A2 into H2 square, where Ig2 xx is the moment of inertia of this circular section about its own centroidal x axis. A2 is the area of the circular section. H2 is the distance between the centroidal x axis of the circle and our total main centroidal x axis. That means the centroidal x axis of my shaded region. So let us substitute the values. For triangle, we know that it will be bh cube by 36. B means this length into h cube, that is the height cube, divided by 36. So that will give me the moment of inertia about the centroidal axis of my triangle. Now I have to transfer that to the parallel axis. So plus area of this figure A1, which is half into base into height, into the distance between these two axes. So how you can calculate the value of h1? You already know the value of y bar. Y bar was how much? Y bar was 53.598. Y bar means the distance from the x-axis to the main centroidal x-axis. So this axis, this x axis will be somewhere here. above G1. Okay, that is given as 53.598. And what is the value of y1? Y1 is the distance from the centroidal, means the normal, our reference x-axis to G1. Okay, so if you take the difference, that is the distance from this x-axis to my centroidal x-axis and the distance from this x-axis to G1, you will get the remaining distance. That will be our H1. So it will be actually 53.598 minus 53.333. That will give you 0.265. So that value is square. Now minus, I have to substitute the value of Ig2, which will be pi d raised to 4 by 64. So I am substituting the value plus area of this circle into the distance between the axes. So how can you calculate that? You already know y bar, that is the distance from the x bar to the main centroidal x axis. Now we have our x2 axis here. So we have to calculate the remaining distance. And I also know the distance from the x-axis to G2 is how much? The vertical distance. It is nothing other than the y2. So I have to subtract 53. 53.598 means the distance from my x-axis to the centroidal x-axis minus the distance from the x-axis to G2, which is 50. So it will give me 3.598. So that is what is written here, that much square. So this will give me the final moment of inertia of the shaded region about its own centroidal x-axis. So that will come around this much, 85330.4.5 centimeter raised to 4. In a similar manner, we have to calculate individual moment of inertia about centroids, the individual centroids of each shape along y direction. Then we have to transfer that to the main y axis. So what will be the major difference? Major difference will be in the equation. So Ig_yy will be equal to Ig1yy plus A1 into H1 square. So what will be the value of H1 in this case? H1 will be the horizontal distance between the y-axis and the centroidal y-axis, individual centroidal y-axis. Okay, in the other case, we were calculating the vertical distance because we were considering axis which was parallel to centroidal x-axis. All the axes were horizontal. So we were calculating vertical distance. Now, all our axes are vertical axis. So we have to calculate the horizontal distance. So once you calculate and repeat the process, you can see the final value will be coming as 458438.854 centimeter raised to 4. Just substitute the respective relations and you will get the final result. So this is how you have to work out the moment of inertia. This is how you will work out the moment of inertia about centroidal x and y axis. So these are the two ways in which they can ask problems from moment of inertia. I hope the concept is clear to you. So thank you for attending this section.